You have all of these negative stereotypes against all the people from Oakland. They're looking beyond that to actually help the community. They make sure your school is first. They make sure you're doing good in everything. They check up on you if they see you're down.
It keeps me out of trouble, you know, it keeps me occupied instead of doing other things. I could be doing the street, I could be here working out.
Guardian's a 501c3 nonprofit gym that gives free boxing and jiu-jitsu to kids after school, as well as affordable adult memberships. I was doing jiu-jitsu for maybe 8 to 10 years at the time, and the thing that kind of converged with that at the same time is that I was doing the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, and I had a little brother. He was 11 years old, and he was a great kid. What I kept thinking as we were doing those events was, wouldn't it be cool in this case if he really loved to do jiu-jitsu and we could meet at the gym? That was really the other reason that I think the idea kind of took off, was the combination of realizing people couldn't afford it and also realizing that people like me really wanted to volunteer and give back. So by kind of merging their passion, it makes it really easy for people to volunteer, mentor, and give back. Yeah, I worked at Twitter for a little over 3 years. I absolutely loved working there. I was there before the IPO, and I worked with some of our largest clients, folks like Comcast and Beats by Dre and people like that. It was really a tough decision, honestly, to quit or not. What it really came down to for me is once we started to hit that critical mass, I just felt like it was kind of that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I had to go all in on. I learned so much at Twitter about the culture, and I think that's one of the reasons Dick Costolo is such a beloved CEO, is because he talked to the people, he made everyone feel important, everyone thought he was their friend, and I realized that we needed to build a similar type culture here if we wanted to be here for the next couple of decades, right? I felt that was something that I really had to kind of be here, and I wasn't able to fake. I couldn't just throw money at it. Like, I had to actually put the hard work in to do it. I have really mixed thoughts, honestly, about what the tech world has done to the Bay Area. I mean, I think there's the obvious things that we all worry about, specifically things like the price of housing going up. In general, tech's fine, it's great, it provides a lot of decent middle-class jobs, but there definitely is that element that it's changing our communities, and it's not necessarily good for everybody. And I think in some ways, this is our small step at making a small impact on that, right? As so many people in tech talk about today, one of the problems and the reason there's not diversity is because so much comes from referrals. And when you don't have that network to refer you into an internship or a job or whatever it may be, it becomes very hard for you to get in front of the right people and get that job.
One of the guys that practiced jiu-jitsu here, he had a restaurant and he comes and donates food for the gym for the kids. And it was summertime. I didn't have nothing to do, nothing better to do, just train. And he offered me a job, and I took it. And I was working with him. I was a prep cook at his restaurant for about 2 months.
Children here are so eager to learn because they weren't raised as athletes, or they weren't raised as like they've been boxing since they were 10 or 11. A lot of them are walking in and they don't all have the same level of comfort walking in. But the thing with Guardian being free and being so convenient is way more welcoming than any of the other gyms I've been or even seen. So I think some of the kids, they walk in from different walks of life and they want to embrace it more.
We're teaching them how to punch, or we're teaching them how to grapple, but simultaneously we're dealing with immigration issues in their family and their community. We're dealing with their poor academic performance in school and helping to strategize on how they can improve that. We're dealing with teen pregnancy, we're dealing with pressures to join gangs, et cetera, all the things that you would imagine somebody might bring into a space like this, we've seen.
I actually started competing in jiu-jitsu last year. I did 3 tournaments and I have one coming up next month.
How'd you do?
I had 2 second places. I used to want to a long time ago, but never did because I have to pay. And when I found out about this gym, it was great.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most common things we hear is, oh, you're teaching kids how to fight. And that's true, but it really has the opposite effect on these kids, where they come in here, we see it over and over again. You take a 16-year-old boy, for example, and they come in here and they do a few classes and they realize, holy crap, I don't know anything. And it really sort of shaves that misconception and that false confidence they have off, and they have to start building from the ground up.
When you give a person who has nothing, when you give them something, they're much more in tune with that, and they want to develop that, and it takes their focus off of the negativity as opposed to taking this tool and running toward, okay, now how do I go mug somebody? That could be on the cover of the Wheaties box. I don't have to spend 5 years in jail or things like that. I can be what I want to be because I found this, I unlocked my potential inside me.
It's about self-control, it's about respecting yourself, it's about respecting your neighbor, and it's about putting expectations on the daily performance of a young adult and saying, you will be this thing, this embodiment of integrity, or you will not be a part of our community.
We do have a food program right now for kids. So we have a couple of local restaurants that donate food and our kids can eat those healthy meals after training. We do have a small tutoring program, which is essentially at one desk, 2 to 3 kids maximum per time. We want to take that to 100x level. And we're really trying to do the same thing that so many other nonprofits and schools and parents are trying to do, which is get kids better grades, make them healthier. We're simply just using martial arts as a bridge to get there.